Hi, this is Rebekah
and Leslie
with the Geeky Girls Night In podcast. Geeky Girls Night In is a podcast with your fandom family, sleepover style.
Empowering fans and creating inclusive fan spaces where we can all be ourselves.
So go get your jammies,
grab a drink,
gather the fur babies,
and join the conversation.
So thank you for joining us at Geeky Girls Night In on our very first podcast episode.
Yay!
Woohoo! So as the intro explained, we're a podcast about and for fandom. We want it to be inclusive, we want it to be fun, and we want it to be where you can just let your hair down like you're at your best friend's house with a glass of wine in your jammies and just telling it like it is. And also, it's important to us to try to create more positive, inclusive, amazingly fun fan spaces.
Yeah.
And, I think of Mark Shepard, who says, I'm very wary of people that aren't fans of something. I mean, it's kind of weird not to freak out over cool things. So that's kind of who we're here for. And, we really want to focus on empowering fans and fandoms. For example, like we love to talk to people who have geeky passions, cosplayers, artists, musicians, people who are geeky for a living, and talk to different people who, may have different barriers to fully participating in fandom. Like maybe you have a toddler and you want to go to Comic-Con, or, maybe you have a disability that, you always have to think ahead. So we want to learn, how can we make fandoms better for everybody? We'll play games, we'll have discussion topics like fan fiction, real person fan fiction. Is that ethical? Is there such a thing as being over the line? Does it matter who people ship and why? That kind of thing. And and other than that, we're just going to have a really great time. Oh, I think we should definitely also, Leslie, have a segment called Make It Gay, You Cowards. So, stuff like that.
I already know who this is going to be about.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
No clue, huh? Not even
right. So moving to the next segment, which is about what's happening in fandom and Twitter. Totally unrelated. So Supernatural.
Completely unrelated.
Totally unrelated. I'm part of the Supernatural family. I'm a big fan. And we're just going to talk about in the beginning, like, what kind of happened this week, whether in fandoms or on social media. So Supernatural was renewed for season 14.
Yay!
I'm super excited. There's definitely people complaining like 14 season is too long. My feeling is this. It's on the CW. It is still like as good or better than almost everything they do. What are they going to do if they cancel Supernatural? They're not going to make The Crown. They're not going to make The Wire. Like, they're going to make another fun show with attractive people. So,
might as well keep our same attractive people we like.
Right, exactly. And, it's not even always about the show anymore. It's about the fandom, the cast, all the art and community we created around it.
And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they continued on for a 14th season. Like, I'm not surprised that the CW picked them up for a 14th season, but that the boys kind of agreed to a 14th season.
You know what? They're very committed, these young men.
They are, but they also have families, and I know that Jared misses his family quite often. You kind of see that a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember when you guys did, like, when they had that con where they, like, lit up the room for him.
I was there. I held one.
Did you hold one? I couldn't remember.
We all held up little lights that said, always keep fighting. And actually, I feel terrible because I can't remember off the top of my head who organized it. I think it was the fan that does the Supernatural wiki, but I could be wrong. Yeah, but you know what? I think they're going to hang on until we get the spinoff so that the cast, the other cast, the crew, the fans, everybody has something to move over to.
That makes sense. Okay.
That's my theory. And then also with Supernatural, we had our Scooby Natural episode. Did you watch it?
I think I'm too maybe 3 seasons behind
Yeah,
Supernatural.
but Scooby Natural, that's a standalone. And I knew it because I'm 2, maybe 3 episodes behind. But that's going to be a standalone.
Was it cute?
Oh my
Was it
God.
cute?
So, for those who don't know, so Supernatural, which is a obviously live action CW show about brothers who fight monsters and a whole lot of other stuff, did a crossover episode with Scooby Doo because there's always fan art and joking about it because you do the same thing, they hunt ghosts or whatever. And I was like the great Jesse Spano from Saved by the Bell. I was both excited and scared. But they hit it out of the park. I was laughing the whole time, and they preserved Supernatural and Scooby-Doo. And I don't know how they did it, frankly, because that took a lot of doing.
Because if you think about it, I would imagine Dean kicking in a door and being like, y'all, and ripping the mask off the ghost and being like,
oh, no,
can we go for sandwiches now?
No. Because, so Dean is the uber Scooby-Doo fan. Like,
I
like,
know. I
so
know.
he's like, well, you have to see it. I highly recommend it. I'm just saying, highly recommend it. Standalone episode. You got to do it.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
All right.
And I'll put in a plug too, because I run a Supernatural and Wayward. I think we have to say Wayward Sisters now. Fan group on Facebook. So it's Supernatural and Wayward Sisters Lentil fan group. One day I'll explain to you why it says lentil.
Why?
Not you.
Why
you
is it sisters?
I don't know, because originally it was Wayward Daughters because Supernatural is from the Kansas song Wayward Son.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. White TV people do what they do. I'm sure there's a reason. Anyway, so that was kind of my big fandom news this week. And Chad Boseman is going to be on SNL, and so is Cardi B.
Yes.
And
so excited.
I saw the preview, and oh my God. So, you see Civil War and Black Panther, and Chadwick Boseman has this just elegant Pan-African accent. And you're just like, oh my God, he's an elegant king. And then I read that he was from South Carolina, and I was like, what? Because I'm from South Carolina. And I was like, and actually I think he's from close to where I grew up. In Greenville. So I was like, oh my God, how's he a hometown boy? Because, my roots, they are inauspicious. And he, you could see in the preview him speak, oh, yep, that's a Southern boy. Anyway, it looked adorable. And Cardi B, that's exciting. And my 15-year-old son's a huge Cardi B fan.
We should all be Cardi B fans.
Right. Okay. So anyway, I'm excited about that. So that's my stuff. Leslie, hit it.
So on Twitter this week, the big thing that I saw was the describe yourself like a male author would challenge. And basically this started with a young woman by the name of Gwen C. Katz, and that's her Twitter handle, and with the comment, a male author is insisting that he is living proof that it's possible for a male author to write an authentic female protagonist. And then she goes on to quote his first page, which I don't currently see right now. So shortly after that,
well, I'll pull that up because we definitely have to read that. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
Another young woman named Whitney Reynolds, at Whitney Arner on Twitter, states, new Twitter challenge, describe yourself like a male author would. I have a lot of friends who are creatives, bottom line, on Facebook. And the phrases that they came up with were amazing. And it's honestly something that I could see myself reading in a male authored book.
Okay, I got it up. Do you want me to read it?
Go for it.
Well, first of all, like, this idea has been floating around Twitter. Like, there was one tweet that went viral that was like a woman
that
kind of joking,
bounced down the
breasted,
stairs,
boobily, tiddly. Yeah. So, and there's a certain class of, let's say, literary fiction, toast to the town type white male authors who, get everything reviewed beautifully. That is kind of, they're making jokes about. And it's funny because it's true. And in fact, the woman, Whitney Reynolds, who she actually had her name changed to Jonathan Franzia on Twitter. So, okay, that was hilarious. So basically there was this conversation for hashtag about hashtag own voices, saying that you should have diverse writers because they can write. And this guy's like, I can do it. And here's a quote from his page. Let's see. This is the woman thinking. Okay, so let's put ourselves in her shoes.
Okay.
I sauntered over, certain he noticed me. I'm hard to miss. I'd like to think. A little tall, but not too tall. A nice set of curves, if I do say so myself. Pants so impossibly tight that if I had had a credit card in my back pocket, you could read the expiration date. The rest of my outfit wasn't that remarkable. Just a few old things I had lying around. You know how it is.
So couple things there. Number one, I have never sauntered in my life. And I believe if I tried to saunter, I would trip and fall. I have never talked about my curves ever in life.
And
whatsoever.
Like you don't sit there, like we don't sit there and go, my boobs,
Right? Unless you're
my
like
curves. And to be honest, like most women have, unfortunately, because of our society, if anything, we feel critical of our own bodies. And
right.
I find another thing that's hilarious, because I read through a few examples of male authors. They really think like we're just toying with them. We're just like, he wants me. Ha, not gonna let him have it. Like life is not a Fergie song. You know what I mean? Like we don't do that. So some of the tweets women did, which are hilarious. Do you want me to read a few?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Talia Lavin at chick_in_Kiev said, I had big honking teeters, just enormous bosoms. And I thought about them constantly as I walked down the street, using my legs, in parentheses, thick with big shapely calves, but never not thinking about my enormo hunkers.
Oh my gosh, no. Jennifer Weiner, the author.
I got hers now.
I have hers too.
Okay, read that one.
Okay, I'm going to do this in my sexy voice.
Okay, do it, girl, do it.
Her breasts entered the room before her far less interesting face. Decidedly maternal hips and rounded thighs. Sorry. He
you can do it, girl. Get sexy.
Unpleasantly audible. As his gaze dropped from her mouth, still talking, to her cleavage, he wondered why feminists were so angry all the time. Oh, these are great.
And then, of course, some very awesome women of color got on the thread because, oh my God, the way white male authors describe women of color is just...
We're always some type of food item.
Food or animal. Yeah.
I'm, the color of good, sweet chocolate. And that is a literal quote. Not from a male author, but an author.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see. Kalechi Okafor says, as she moved, and she's a black woman, and she says, as she moved, her strong cocoa body gleamed as if calling to the country of Africa.
Oh my
God. Her
gosh.
chocolate waist moved like an alluring siren, calling me to crash on the rocks of her brown buttocks.
Oh my God.
You know what? It's not much of an exaggeration, if any. And
it's really not.
And another woman, Amanda Wong, says, I didn't write one because I'd probably just be about breasts and almond-shaped eyes, but I did draw it out. Okay, I'm going to have to put this link in the show notes because she drew almond eyes and boobs. That was it.
I see them.
Oh my God. I'm going to put this link because it's so cute. And then there's people who are basically like, they know, one was like, she didn't exist because she's fat. Because some women they're just not going to write about. So
Yes.
Anyway, so Leslie, do you want to take a shot at how you would be described
I'm going to
by
give this a
Mallory?
go.
Give it a go.
I am not a writer by any means. Well, I'm a blogger, but
No, you don't have
that's
to be writers. They're not either sometimes.
all right. Here we go. Let me think here. All right. As she, no. No, hold on.
Okay. I can go if you want to think about it for a minute.
No, I think I got
You
it.
got it? Okay, go ahead.
The boss called her name so she could make her report. She grabbed up all her papers, clutched them to her enormous breasts as she waddled to the front, thighs slapping together like two Christmas hams, hair going every which way. Not the wild corkscrews of Maisie's hair, but something tighter, kinkier, coilier. Yes, I win.
You did it. You did it. But you didn't mention food once.
I did. You know what? No, not today, sir.
Okay.
Not today.
Okay.
Any other day of the week ending in Y, go for it. And I did mention food, Christmas hams.
Oh,
Christmas.
you did. I was remiss. I am so sorry.
I didn't mention food in regards to my color.
Right.
Which I should have, but this
No,
was on
no.
the cuff. So.
Not today. Not today, Satan. Not today, white male Satan.
Exactly. My God.
So these are the people we've been paying to do our film. So you're not going to hear any alligator tears from me with the Me Too movement where, oh my God, all these geniuses. Nah, give somebody else a chance. So let's see. So what geeky thing did you do this week?
Okay, so just so you know, I'm changing my name. And I will be now known as Mona Scott. In case you don't know, Mona Scott is the producer, the creator of all the Love and Hip Hop franchises.
Okay.
And so I could never star in one of those. So I've decided to produce my own using The Sims 4. So
Really? Oh, this
So
is
here's the deal.
awesome. Okay. Sims, do tell.
Yes, I wasn't going to buy The Sims 4. I owned almost all of the editions of The Sims 3, like all of the extras, the packs, the stuffs, all of them. And it's glitchy. It's glitchy as shit. They've never fixed the glitches. They just moved on to Sims 4. And as a silent protest, I wasn't going to buy it. Mm-hmm. And then the day came where The Sims 4 was 50% off. And I can do 50% off. So I went ahead and bought it, like the rube I am. But here's the thing. I haven't had any glitches at all whatsoever this entire time. See where they've done some things that makes me wonder if those were the problems that they were having in The Sims 3.
Okay, Les.
So...
Yep.
And I haven't had any glitches, like I said, and it's just been working really well. And I can see different things that they've done in The Sims 4 that they kind of took out. Or there were things in The Sims 3 that they took out from doing in The Sims 4, and it makes me wonder if that's why they were having those glitches. But let me get to my whole Mona Scott thing.
Okay.
So I made a character, as I usually do. And, she's living her life like it's golden. Nice. She's a writer. Mm-hmm. She's doing the thing. She's dating. And that's another thing I like about The Sims 4, too. In Sims 3, you can't date multiple people.
Sounds kind of like slut-shaming to me.
Right. So, let's say I go on a date and we hit it off in The Sims 3. If I try and go date another person, I start to get a bad reputation. And people accuse me of cheating. Right. So in this one, you can just date. And nobody says anything. So she's dating, and then she ends up picking the blonde dude, and her and the blonde dude get married. So, time rolls on, they have a kid, life is good. And she throws him a birthday party, and then at the birthday party, in front of her, he flirts with another woman.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I've never played Sims. You're going to have to tell me this. Are you
Sure.
making this up? Like, is this in your gameplay or is this the setup? Like, what is happening here?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So there are a couple things that you can do with The Sims. You can turn life choices off, which basically means that they won't do anything unless you tell them to do it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
If you keep life choices on, like let's say I have 3 people in a house and I'm kind of neglecting one, and I have life choices turned on, they will go to the bathroom by themselves. They will go eat by themselves. They will go do what they need to do and get done what they need to get done. If I have it turned off, they're just gonna sit there and pee themselves and starve to death.
Dang. So, like, backing up before, so Sims is basically like, do you get a family when you turn on that game, or you just build your own people?
You can do that. They have families that you can play, but I always create a person.
Okay.
And like the people in the game, they're called townies. That's what people that play The Sims call them. They're townies, and like I always end up marrying a townie.
Okay.
Right.
So back to the game. So you're a woman who's dating a guy who's just flirting with somebody else in front of her.
Well, we're married at this point.
Oh,
we've
okay,
married.
okay.
We've had a kid.
Dang.
Like, right. Okay. And he like flirted first, so she's angry. So I'm like, let me exploit this. So she goes to work. He's off that day. I have him invite that girl over. They have sex, and he has a baby by another woman.
You are the creator of chaos.
I am. So then, and that's another thing with The Sims 3. If this were to happen in The Sims 3, all hell would break loose. Okay. Even if the person wasn't there that they were cheating on, like they would somehow find out, and everybody in the house is angry. Everybody's mood is shot. You can't get anything up. You have to divorce.
So basically there was a lot more, there was like automatic consequences and a lot more judgment. Okay.
Right. But she was like in The Sims 4, there aren't any.
Okay.
So she's gone and she doesn't know what happened. She doesn't know that another baby exists. She doesn't know anything. But I pretend like she's mad. So she goes off and she has an affair and she gets pregnant by a man that does not look anything like her husband.
Wait, so are you making her have the affair, or you just make her mad and that's what she does?
I made her a little irritated, and then she went out and hung out with a dude and started flirting with him, and then I kept it going. I made it so that she went ahead and had that baby.
So you really are like a virtual reality show producer, because they ply them with alcohol. They like encourage them to get mad. Like that's what they do.
I love this game. So, it gets even better. It gets even better. So, she's pregnant in the house with this dude, and there are no consequences because he was at work when this was going down, so he doesn't really know.
Wait, what's your girl's name so I can like be like
Leslie.
So Leslie, you are out there living your reality show fantasies of acting a fool.
Maybe. And the dude that she cheated with looks like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I love him. I love him. I forgive you. You're forgiven. Not that I ever judged you, because you know what I mean.
Right. So he looks like Lin-Manuel Miranda,
I love him so.
And then her husband is this blonde dude. So the baby comes out looking completely Puerto Rican.
Nice. I mean, bad Leslie.
I know, right? But it works out. It's fine. So then, like, the guy, like, it's really weird. Like, the mother of the other child calls him and is like, hey, let's go to the dance club. That's not something I do, by the way. That's something that the game does. They'll have the person call up. So they go to the dance club. They have sex in a closet in the dance club. And then she gives birth to twins. So he currently has 3 kids out of wedlock. She has the one, but I made him adopt her son from Lin-Manuel Miranda. So he's taking care of him too. It's fine.
I would.
Occasionally I throw parties and the other twins come over, or the twins and the
Oh
other
my
little
god.
kid come over, and they are not well cared for at all because they're mom parties, I guess.
So, given that this has a girl named Leslie who I assume looks like you,
Maybe.
and she has a white blonde husband that she's cheating on, what does Jeff think of this?
First of all, he's brunette. So
Okay.
it's completely okay.
Okay.
It's fine. All these elaborate stories I was making, and he would just look at me because, like, my whole purpose in The Sims 3 was to make as many children as I possibly could in the house. Like, I just want them to go. Like, I want the entire town to just be filled full of me and go. At one point, I think, like, I had 5 generations of children just all scattered throughout this town. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my god.
I ended up having to move towns because, like, the more children you produce, the more townies leave because there's not enough room in the game for them.
Like, oh,
So
another Leslie
right,
baby.
right. So I had to skip town, move to a new town where there were more townies so I could have more babies.
Lord.
So
I don't know how I'm going to top that with the geeky thing I did this week, to be honest. I feel like that's just like taking the cake.
I feel like you should join this game with me. And
I
it's
have not played video games since, I guess I was maybe 14.
this it's not like it's not like a normal video game. I've played The Sims for years. I believe, like, I played Sims 1 back when it first came out. And then I moved on to Sims 2 and I drove my mom absolutely bonkers with
The
it.
reason I don't play video games, because I have a son who's obsessed with video games, is just because I have so many obsessions already. I have like 250 list of books I need to read. I have probably and I'm not kidding. Like, I keep these lists. I have a Goodreads list that's probably 250 books long. I have a note I keep on my phone that's all the TV shows I need to watch. So that's why I don't.
And
do
that
it.
makes sense. This is not something that you would want to get involved with because, no joke, like, you sit down and then you look up and it's been 3 hours.
You're like, you
Your
don't
blood
want
sugar's low, but you want to see the birth of the twins.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, maybe
All right.
stay away for a little while.
All right. So, okay. Like I said, I don't think I can follow that, but I will try. So, geeky thing I did this week. I also admin a couple Facebook groups. So the other one I admin is called Dom Squad. So #DOMSQUAD, and it's a fan group for Dominique Provost Chalkley, who is she plays Waverly Earp on Winona Earp. So basically, like, it's a fan group, but we also like organize and promote her. We like promote her projects and
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
She's darling as fuck. Darling as fuck. Okay. Like, she's amazing. She's talented, and also she plays a bisexual character, which I love. And, you know, she not just plays a character, but she goes to, you know, LGBT conventions. She goes to Pride Parade. Like, she really, really supports her LGBT fandom. And she's just darling as fuck. And multi-talented. So anyway, she's in a movie that's right now making the film festival circuit called Buckout Road. And so, you know, it's on the festival circuit. It hasn't gotten a distribution deal yet. I think they're working on it. So some of our group has gone to some of the screenings at the film festivals, and we met the writer-director, who's Matthew Curry Holmes, and it was so awesome. He came on our Facebook group, and he did an AMA. Have you heard that? Like, Reddit doesn't ask me anything. So,
ask me anything.
Right. So he did an AMA in our Facebook group, and it was so much fun. And I kind of felt, I'm like, aw, I organized that. I felt like proud of myself because it made people happy. And we got to ask him a lot of questions about the movie. The movie's like, it's a horror movie, and it's about the most haunted road in America or whatever, on Buckout Road in New York. And it's like urban urban myths and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And Dominique is in it, and also Evan Ross, who he is Tracy Ellis Ross's brother, Diana Ross's son. He's married to Ashley Simpson, and he probably gets really sick of being explained like as his relation to all of these other people in his life. He was also in Hunger Games. He's super, super cute, talented. He's an artist, you know.
Sure.
So, anyway, that's I think the geekiest thing I did as a Facebook admin, just geeking out and fangirling. So
sounds like fun.
Yep. And I also started. I'm going overboard on this because I just started learning how to make books because I decided I'm 41, and I've always been like, oh, I'm not artsy or craftsy, and then I learned you can make books, and I'm obsessed with books. I'm a bibliophile, and so I started getting into it, and now I'm just going overboard like with everything I'm trying to do.
Well, I was on your Instagram page, and I saw a journal that somebody had made for you out of a book. And I immediately went to that person's Instagram page. And I want one. I want them all.
It's amazing. Yeah. So my Instagram page, since we're just going to do a little shout out here, it's Inland Empire Book Arts. And the journal I ordered was from Bound to Help. So it's Instagram, Bound to Help. And she's on Etsy. And she takes like really old vintage books that are kind of at the end of their life. She restores them, but she makes them amazing. Like she keeps some of the original pages. She keeps all the original binding, and she puts in like artistic pages, really nice white. Anyway, it's a gorgeous journal. And yeah, I just geeked out over it. I'm obsessed. So. And it's Bound to Help because she puts like a percentage of the profits towards like worthy organizations. So that's
very
the thing.
Cool.
So yeah. So something happened to you. It wasn't last week. It was a few weeks ago. But since it's taken us a little while to get the podcast up and running, it's been set. This story has been sitting on the back burner. So we've heard now. Leslie tells awesome stories. And this one is less a story and more of a trauma, I think. But you have to share it because if you have to be in pain, so does everyone else.
Okay. So, I'm a hermit, and I don't like to leave my house. Mm-hmm. It's a nice house. Paid a lot of money for it. Mm-hmm. Don't like to go anywhere.
You got a nice husband, a cute baby, like, you know.
Right. I'm living my life like it's golden here. But, I'm
going to start singing Jill Scott if you keep saying that.
My mom's birthday came up, and she never really goes anywhere. And so I wanted to do something nice for her. So I rented a room in downtown Indianapolis for us. And I looked for something for us to do, basically. Mm-hmm. I checked the IRT theater first. And it looked like at the time they were showing some mushy love play, and we weren't about that life. And so our other option, well, there was also, we could have gone and saw A$AP Rocky, but I don't know what an A$AP Rocky is, but after what I saw, I'm pretty sure we'd have been okay with A$AP Rocky. Another option that we had was a theater house that I had never heard of called the Phoenix Theater here in Indianapolis. And they were showing a play called Fairfield. And it was written by a man named Eric Coble. And I pulled it up so that I could read the description to you guys. Fairfield Elementary is a progressive integrated school in a progressive integrated community where Black History Month goes horribly, horribly wrong. One bad role-playing experience by an overeager first-grade teacher, and suddenly Black and white parents, principals, superintendents, and teachers are fighting for their educational lives to just reach the Celebra Ethnic potluck on February 28th in one piece.
The what potluck?
Celebrethnic, like celebratory and ethnic combined into one word.
And a white guy wrote this, didn't he?
Yes, yes.
And you read this before you went in with your mom.
Right.
Okay.
And
You were
but
optimistic.
here's the thing. Couple things. I gave my mom the choice because it was her birthday.
Got it.
And it said, this twisted comedy will have you laughing so hard you cry while raising poignant questions about the world and the manner in which we are raising our youth.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll think. Okay.
Right. So my mom saw comedy and she was like, okay, comedy. Let's go to this. First of all, the theater is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny, it is small, you're up close and personal with the props. So we're like, hey, this isn't bad. And shit just went downhill. There is no other way to describe this. So
just reading it, I cringe in terror because I'm like, there's a white guy wrote this. This is not going to be good.
Right. So I'm not going to tell you all about the play.
Mm-hmm.
Though the run of the play is over. It ended April 1st. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine said that I should have known some shit was going to go awry because it's about Black History Month, and it wasn't during Black History Month. You have them.
When did you know it was going awry?
We knew like 30 minutes in because the teacher goes, well, it's time for some role playing, and like it fades to black, and then it fades back in, and you find out that her idea, the first grade teacher's idea of role playing, was to have her students separate, and you had a set of students be slaves, and you had a set of students be slave owners. And the slave owners had to try to make the slaves pick cotton or do schoolwork or something like that. I can't remember at this point.
And there are teachers that do stuff like this.
First grade, y'all. So then, now, I just want to clarify that there were no children in the play. So, like, they were acting as if there were children there. And also, we didn't see this scene play out.
Right.
It was just described when the parents came in because the parents were angry.
Okay. Well, that's a blessing anyway.
Right.
Was there black people in the audience, or like?
The only black people in the audience were me and my mother. And so the parents come in, like the white parents come in, and basically their son was a slave owner, and the little boy that he was trying to get to do the work wouldn't. So he told him to get his inward ass over there and pick the cotton or do whatever he's supposed to do, or he would make him fashion a chain of paper clips and whip the boy.
Okay.
All right. So, like, people are dying laughing in the audience.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, deadly. And me and my mom are looking at each other like, do you think we should go for intermission? I think we should go for intermission. This isn't for us.
People thought it was funny?
Right. Well, like, there was this couple, and there are some inappropriate people that you may work with, and you know that they're inappropriate. Like, the woman will be wearing like a giant obnoxious bow in her head, and she's like 50. Mm-hmm. That was this couple, and they were just laughing at inappropriate times. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm like, I have a lady at work that looks kind of like this. I already know she's inappropriate. Mm-hmm. So, whatever. I'm not going to go through the whole play, but basically, the superintendent said that he hired because the principal's black, hired the principal because she's black, and that so that she, so that the black kids would feel more welcome or something like that. Then it devolves, and the superintendent's called the black kids cretins, calling them free lunchers.
Oh my God.
It is so bad. And then we get to the end of the play where the white mother comes dressed out in full KKK regalia.
Oh my God.
And the black father of the son that got hit is dressed up like a slave, complete with ripped clothes and, chains on his hands. And then something happens, and like the school's been on lockdown because all this stuff has gotten out of hand. And like the white kid that started this, and then the black kid that he hit, like take down a security cop, and that brings the parents together, and everybody lives in peace and harmony. The end.
So did people think this was deep or funny? Like, how are people react? Oh dear Lord in heaven.
And like me and my mom, like when that lady came out with the KKK costume, like my mother cannot pronounce words to save her life at all whatsoever. And the entire night she had been calling Uber everything but Uber. Boober, tuber, luber, everything. She's
That's
like,
a mom problem. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, can you please call the boober? Call the boober now.
And
please
you did not call that poor woman her boober?
I held that poor woman her boober ASAP. I'm like, we have got to go.
But you made it till the end. Was it just out of like horrified curiosity, or like?
We should have left at the intermission. I'm gonna be honest with you, but it got better before the intermission. So we're like, oh, it's gonna be okay. No, it was never okay.
Like, how did they get away with that? Were there reviews? Did anybody who wasn't white go and review it?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen anything. Wow. I have not seen anything. And there were black people in the play. So I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
My God. Did your mom ask for a redo? Like a do-over for her birthday?
No, she did not. And if she would have, she wouldn't have got it because, like I said, I don't leave my house.
And she did choose it. She did choose it.
She did. She's like, I'm so sorry. And like,
poor Leslie
I
mom
knew, and like, it wasn't her fault. She didn't know. I didn't know.
Oh my God.
We already knew that we were like, not even the play, but we got to the hotel that I chose, and we look out the window, and the IRT theater is right across the street. Wow. Like we could walk 15 steps and we'd be there. And I'm like, man.
So what's the name of this play? So if it comes to other people's towns, they cannot go see it.
Well, the theater won't come to their towns, but the name of the play is called Fairfield.
Oh boy.
And it's by Eric Kolb.
Wow. Okay.
It's awful.
Wow. Well, that's definitely I don't know, a learning experience. I tend to be very dubious of anything that tackles race where white people wrote it.
And like, I was so shocked and dismayed. Like, I busted up into work that Monday, and I'm like, has anybody been to the Phoenix Theater? And my boss was like, well, yeah, I've been asking a couple of places. Why didn't you tell me this place was horribly racist? And he looked at me like, I didn't know that either. What happened to you? And then I explained what happened, and he just kind of looked and did a slow fade.
I bet.
Real quick.
Like Homer pulling back into the bushes. Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, I got a conference. Go. Call something. Bye.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah. I think it's a good rule of thumb for next time. Does it have race? Did white people, like the supernatural racist truck episode. Just know.
The racist truck.
Don't let white people be the only people in the writing room when you write something about race. Just don't do it.
Please.
All right. So, we, as I talked about at the beginning of the podcast, we want to make this podcast where we're really talking about fandom and really talking to a lot of different people. Of course, we have to get a setup where we can get a third person to call in. And so if any of you want to, do any segments or be on the show, make sure and let us know. Our phone number's in the show notes, and it's also, we'll tell you it at the end. So we're going to ask a question each week, and what we're going to do is if you guys can call in, answer the question, keep it to like 60 seconds or less, and we'll play it the next week so you guys can just hear what other people in fandom that are listening, what their experiences are and what they think. So this week, what we're asking is, do you have a good story of meeting your favorites or celebrities at conventions? Doesn't have to be at a convention, but you know how you go to conventions, you get your photo ops and, you know, you meet your faves and you know, sometimes it's out on the street, but we'd love to hear your stories. So in that spirit, I'm going to tell you a story. And it's a good story. I love the good stories of when people you love are actually darling in person. It's such a nice thing. Okay. So so Lisa Barry, she's an actress. She is on Supernatural, obviously, because I keep talking about it. And she's on Shadowhunters. And she's done a lot of other things too. Beautiful, gorgeous woman, talented, all that stuff. So anyway, I was at a album release party in LA because I live about an hour or so away from LA. And if you're in the Supernatural fandom, pretty much anytime anyone who's ever been on Supernatural does anything, you hear about it and people go. So the wonderful person, Rob Benedict, who plays the Prophet Chuck in Supernatural, he has a really great indie rock band. And so they were doing an album release party and just a ton of Supernatural supporting actors, writers, you know, lots and lots of the Supernatural family was there. So I got to meet a ton of people. You know, got to say hi to Osric, Chow, who's the best, and you know, lots of different people. Well, Lisa had been on, but just maybe twice at that point, I think. So I'm sitting at a table outside the venue because there is taco trucks out back. Because if you're in LA and you have an event, you really should have a taco truck. Like, you just should. So I'm outside. Me and my sister, she's kind of like, me and my sister are like geek twins for a lot of different stuff. We go out, we get our tacos, we go sit at the table, and we're eating our tacos. And a woman who we know, who's a friend of ours, who does, her name's Cindy. She does a ton of photography at the conventions, and she volunteers, and she's always around. So we're eating our tacos, and she waves us over. No, come take a picture with Osric. And we're like, oh, okay. And I'm like halfway through my second taco, right? And I've taken a bite, but there's some left. So I'm a little like, I go a little like, because I, you know, you never want to leave in the middle of a taco.
Right.
But it's Osric Chow, and he's just, oh my God, he's the best. So I was like, okay, I will leave the rest of this taco for Osric. So I go over there and I go take a picture. You know, we take a group picture and all of that, and we come back to the table. So it's just me come back to the table because I think my sister's still talking to Osric or whatever.
Sure.
And I look. My taco is gone.
Oh, no.
Now, if you've ever been hungry and had a taco truck taco in LA and you don't have a lot of money, do you look like you have a lot of money? No. And you got your taco. I can't tell you, unless you really love food the way I love food, you can't like fathom what that felt like. So I get back to the table and I look, my plate is gone. Some very enthusiastic staff member took my taco, and I just stood there and stared in shock, right? So at the table now is a very attractive couple, you know, two just beautiful people, but I'm upset about my taco, and it does not dawn on me that one of those people is Lisa Barry, right?
Right.
And I've only seen her a few times on the show, and yeah, when I saw her come on the screen, I was like, oh my Lord, she's beautiful. And her character also sang, and me and my sister were like, oh my God, we love her. But I didn't make the connection, mostly because I was upset about my taco. So
Sure.
I'm sitting and I'm like, oh my God. And she looks over and she's like, honey, what's wrong? And I was like, my taco's gone. And I'm just staring at like the empty place where my taco should be. And like,
She probably thought you were high as hell.
That the thing is, Leslie, the thing is, she didn't. She got a look of just empathy in her face, and she was like, "Oh, sweetie, you can have one of mine." And she tries to give me her taco. That is not euphemistic. Okay, I have, she had a plate of tacos, and she was like, "Honey, have one of my tacos." And I was like, and then I'm feeling embarrassed because I'm like,
you just realized you spilled your guts about a taco.
Oh, to someone who cared and took me seriously. And I was like, "Oh, please. Oh, you're so sweet." I'm like, "But I am such a baby. Please don't listen to me." Like, I'm being such a baby. Like, my brain knows that in the grand scheme of things, like, probably what was maybe a third of a taco isn't the end of the world, but my heart doesn't know it, right? But my brain does. So I'm like, "Oh, no, please don't listen to me. Like, no, I'm not going to eat your food. Like, no, it's fine. Please ignore me." And so she's like, "Are you sure?" And then but I can't stop looking at the spot and being like, like, I can't stop, like, where I'm almost crying about it, but I'm like, no, it's fine.
My word.
It's fine. And so at some point I realized this poor woman feels so terrible for me and is not going to stop offering me her food until I get my shit together. So I'm like, "No, really, I'm fine. Please, like, don't humor me. I'm a baby. It's fine. Like, I'm not going to take your food." And so I decided I'm just going to change the subject. And I was like, "So, how are you connected to the show?" And she's like, "Well, I play a character on the show." And then that's when, like, my taco fever subsided and I realized, oh my God, she's Billy the Reaper, And so I was like, because I wanted her to know, like, I love your character, and your character, your voice is beautiful, you're beautiful, your talent, but there I'm like, "Who are you?" So it didn't go the way I would have wanted it to go. But I was like, "Oh yes, me and my sister's watching with me. We love your character, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, blah, blah, blah."
Aww.
And in my mind, I'm just like, this woman, like, forget Mother Teresa. Like, you're going to give me your taco from your taco truck, because I'm like a freaking baby and I look like I'm going to cry. I'm just saying, she's a good woman. You know what I mean?
That's sweet.
She was so, like, sincerely hurt for me. So yes. Okay. That sounds awesome. And then we just have a couple of shout outs to give. First of all, I'm going to shout out. This is going to sound a little bit funny, but man, this audio stuff, this setup was not as quick as I expected. I was like crying practically, and like I wanted to burn my house down basically. And I went online sobbing about it. And my friend, her husband, Sean Madden, has a company, Sound Journey Productions, that came over less than an hour, got me fixed up. So shout out to Sean.
Yay, Sean. I also want to shout out basically the young woman that did our podcast art. You can find her on Fiverr and on Facebook, and her name is MakeMeBark. All
now that reminds me of supernatural fan fiction.
yes, it does. All one word, MakeMeBark. Super sweet lady. Happy to customize anything that you may need. Mm-hmm. I also need to shout out Three Sparrows Apparel, who did an amazing job on the tank top that I wore to go see Black Panther. She put paw prints on it. It was silver. It said Dora Milaje on it. And it said Wakanda in the back. Yes.
She hooked it up.
Thank you, Kara. Thank you for that very much.
Okay, so those are our shout outs. And, like I said, our format will probably be changing a little bit as we go forward. So we definitely want to hear from you. And so I hope you liked our first podcast.
Yes, please let us know. Listen forward, and you'll hear how to get in contact with us. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you and would love to hear from you.
Yes, leave us a voicemail at 785-746-2604. Email us at ask@geekygirlguide.com. That's ASK at geekygirlguide.com. Or hit us up on social media. We're Geeky Girl Guide on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And remember, in the words of the great John Barrowman, never apologize for being nerdy. Until next time.